Faculty, staff, friends, and family, thank you for joining our magical graduation celebration. This morning when I walked down the lawn, it was magical to see all those people celebrating us. Darden has helpfully provided us with magical gowns. And after sitting on the lawn this morning, I am very thankful for the magic that is air conditioning. I am Catriona Stadtler-Ayer, and I'm president of the Executive Student Association. I'm here representing the fantastic members of the class of 2022. Woo! As a class, we chose to say yes. We said yes to going back to school at the start of a pandemic, to learn new skills, to further our learnings, and to expand our horizons. We said yes to learning hard things like finance and DA. Sorry, no, I actually really like operations. We said yes to helping each other through career and life transitions. We said yes to exploring new career directions and learning outside the classroom. And I urge you to continue to say yes to new opportunities, even though they may seem scary at first. You have all proven that you are strong leaders and remarkable people. I encourage you to honor our friendships that we've made by staying connected. Continue to lean on each other as you continue life's journey. In the words of our classmate, you rock, keep changing. And now allow me to introduce Joe Stanley, our elected class speaker.
Here we go. So today I want to talk about the idea of community in the market. I'm not even joking. Get ready for it. This is what's happening right now. But to discuss that idea, we good? Perfect. I need to discuss another one first. Compared to residential programs, executive MBAs tend to get a bad rap. I think I speak for all of us when I say that the idea of cash inflows alongside cash outflows makes a lot of business sense. So I'm not exactly sure where that kind of heat comes from. But doing an executive program in these unprecedented times really elevated the value to a new level. I learned alongside colleagues that were on the proverbial front lines during the height of the pandemic. I learned from others that had previously been on literal front lines, now coordinating the U.S. response to global conflicts. Logistics experts trying to navigate a disrupted supply chain, teachers trying to grapple with a profession that had become the source of political polarization, leaders in the arts having to radically rethink their organizations at a time when they couldn't even do live shows. All of these experiences filtered through the casework of our academic learning resulted in a value that far surpassed anything I would have ever expected. Simply put, each of you has changed me, and I thank you for it. None of us could have made it through this time alone, and none of us did. Over the past 20 months, a community was formed. We carried one another, and were carried in turn. We weren't thinking in terms of quid pro quo or scarcity, but instead of abundance, that gentle whisper in the back of one's head that says, this person is in pain, and I can alleviate that pain, so I will. I witnessed classmates give at great, tremendous cost to themselves, others expressing deep vulnerabilities, just to let others know that they were not alone. During our last day together, we spent the morning sharing what made this all so meaningful. And as Catriona kind of joked earlier, it wasn't complex decision trees, it wasn't VC method valuation. Okay, maybe that's not really a surprise. What everyone said time and again was that the bonds we formed and reinforced were the most important part of what we were taking away from all of this. Look around you. How will you preserve those bonds in the absence of this program? It's an important point to keep in mind as business leaders because markets and communities shape one another. I once was speaking with the members of an Amish community who explained their rationale for why they don't use insurance. Insurance may provide superior risk mitigation on a personal level, but it erodes the type of mutual aid that is the bedrock of their community. And while I don't suspect anyone in this audience is particularly clamoring to go adopt the Amish lifestyle, that point may nonetheless resonate. I say that because in America, even before the pandemic, we're becoming lonelier. Studies have shown more Americans feel isolated, our average number of close friends has declined, and we're seeing a continued rise in the rate of depression globally. These trends have clear origins from our built environments, commercialization of politics, terrifying forecasts of global climate change, and as Dean Beardsley noted earlier, the impacts of social media. I posit much of this isolation stems fundamentally from commercial activities eroding systems of community, the great powers of the market being wielded without true care. This erosion leads to a scarcity mindset, born of equal parts fear and despair, a mindset which encourages further isolation and distrust, seeing the world as a zero-sum game to be won, and left unchecked, has come to threaten some of the most foundational values of our republic. Now, I'm sure the tone of the speech isn't exactly what you're expecting, but in the face of all of this, I'm optimistic. Because just as markets can erode the bonds of community, they can enhance them. They can serve as the foundation for multiple communities to interact. And just as markets shape communities, communities shape markets. Communities such as our own. A classmate was kind enough to share one of the first speeches given within this institution, commemorating the formation of Darden. And it's clear from the writings that our community came from the need for a local place of learning to cultivate the next generation of leaders, teaching them not simply to do well, but to do good. And it's that last bit that invalidates the scarcity mindset for me. Because while actual material resources may be finite, our capacity for grace and ingenuity is limitless. We, this community, will help overcome these challenges and more, not by castigating the marketplace or through the easy tactics of social division, but through the hard, ceaseless work of collaboration, of extending when it's all too easy to retract, of aligning commerce and community in a self-reinforcing cycle, by applying a higher standard, choosing the harder path, and holding one another to it, originating from a mindset of abundance, of growing the pie, of effectual thinking, whatever terminology you want to use, it's all predicated on that most revolutionary of acts, of hope. So it's with that in mind, I leave you this simple charge. No matter what you do next, no matter how great, how small, choose that harder path, hold one another to it, and in the face of despair, may you never yield, for you're never alone. Thank you.